What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the internet where your cesspool is my jacuzzi. Me and Bruce are going to talk about that wonderful video that David just posted of him and Laura. We're not going to show any of it, especially because it's just more obsessive baiting about Dave Neal and stuff like that. But before we get started, I saw that he had responded to someone on his YouTube channel admitting that he did not actually watch my whole video and did not do that before filing a false copyright claim. He thinks he's a god because he's a copyright lawyer, but he did not watch the content that he filed a claim against. So you don't get to decide how much is fair use, dude. You are not that special. So I'm going to try one more time to reason with this man, okay? And I'm going to need your help with it because I don't know. I'm going to just let me know if this is working, okay? Give me 1 sec. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me now?
Oh, no.
Can you?
Guys, I'm in trouble.
I'm sorry.
Someone in chat help me.
I feel like we're not speaking the same language, so I thought maybe if I also talked out of my ass, this man might leave me alone. Anyways, how you doing, Bruce?
I had something I was gonna say, and now I forgot about it. He did his first video. And he told me and Megan, go ahead and commentate on this video or whatever.
Yeah,
so we did, right? And then he launched his second video and he said, nobody can use a second of this, or whatever.
Yeah, you're not
and
the
it's like, okay.
And then douchebag,
And then in the third video and now in this new video, he says, don't use the whole video, but you could do like 5 or 6 minutes. Like,
how about
gray area between like a few minutes and the whole thing, like where this all just seems very qualitative to me. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. He's got me all wrong, man. And the reason that I feel like I've taken it so personally and been rude and called him names is because he does not actually know what he's talking about when he's talking about me. He actually doesn't know. He actually doesn't watch, and he'll listen and be like, I don't know about Lauren. I close her stream and I never think about her again. Obviously not true, by the way, which is weird. I'm very gay, David. Stop. Also, I'm way too old for you. So.
Whoa.
Okay. So.
Oh my. I mean, yeah, you didn't commentate over the entire thing, start to finish. So
no, we did not. And
he doesn't want someone to use the whole thing, and you didn't do that. So you should.
Well, he didn't want anyone to use it at all. He said anyone who uses any part of it. And I'm like, you can't do that. Yeah. You literally cannot do that. That is not your choice. You are not God.
It's very inconsistent.
Dude, very much so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the 7-minute video, commentate on that. Oh, the second one, don't do anything. Oh, the third one, you can do a few minutes. It's just all over the place. The goalposts keep moving. I don't know. But, I'm not a lawyer, and he's a super, super fair use lawyer or whatever. So,
well, you don't have to be a lawyer to know that you have to watch the content you're going to strike. Are you stupid? How stupid are you? Jesus.
I don't know.
But we're not going to show any of that on here, guys. I don't want to.
It's all outside my domain, so.
I did not finish the last 6 minutes. I've heard about it, and that was enough for me. I was just kind of like, dude, I'm on vacation. I don't want to hear this bullshit. Also, in the beginning where Laura's jizzing her little pants because he finally got a video taken down was kind of stupid. So, I don't know. It just left, I wasn't very open to what they were saying after that because they were just like, oh my God, finally, we got a small YouTuber's video taken down. Oh my God, finally, we're going to win in court. Fuck off.
Okay.
Anyways, Bruce, tell me what stood out to you.
Wait, from the new video tonight?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I took a lot of notes.
Yeah, go ahead.
We talked about the 5 to 6 minute thing. The first thing that stuck out to me was they say, we just want this all to end. We wanted it to end a year ago. There were 2 things they could have done to end it a year ago or in between then and now. They could have admitted, hey, yeah, it's true. We did not bring sufficient evidence for this paternity case. So just sign a thing that says you were never pregnant or whatever, or just go ahead and pay the bill. If you don't want to sign a thing that says you were never pregnant, then, you failed to bring the evidence for the court case. So just pay the bill. Now they can nitpick on the appeal with the different. He listed 5 issues. I wrote them down if you want to hear about them. But I mean, you could just pay the bill and leave. Like you don't have to keep fighting it. So I don't know.
Yeah,
that was the first thing. I think the preamble of the document he read. He read the document for most of the video, and then they did a little Q&A and commentary at the end. But it's just more reliance. They're really, really reliant on the HCG tests, as well as the personal testimony about not banging anybody but Clayton, right?
Yeah.
And to me, the problem is nobody's saying that the HCG tests were fake, or we know they're fake, or you can't rely on HCG tests. The problem is an HCG test, even if it's working 99.9% effectively, it is an indicator of pregnancy, not proof of pregnancy. And what we want to see is proof of pregnancy. It's sort of like saying, hey, I have a headache. Like, Lauren, if I could prove to you that I have a headache right now, you would know I have a headache. And a headache can be an indicator of a brain tumor. But if I said I have a brain tumor because I have a headache, that's not proof. You have to prove that you have a brain tumor. Just like when you take a pregnancy test, HCG test, or a blood test with HCG, and it's positive, that's an indicator. They keep saying medical proof. And the word proof and the word indicator are 2 different words. They're not the same word. So you can't conflate indicators with proof. That's my first problem. The other one is for paternity, where they're just like, well, I just didn't bang anyone else. Well, that's just your testimony.
Right.
It's not
and also,
a
like, how are you
Rabgen
supposed
test.
to buy that?
And if the argument is that, well, this miscarriage occurred so early that the DNA tests don't come back with any results, why, if these decidual casts that they photographed in July or whatever are the miscarriage, why wasn't that sent to a pathologist? Why wasn't it DNA tested to prove Clayton's the father? Like, you're in the middle of court. You need to do every single thing you can do to prove your paternity claim.
Right.
And they just failed to do it over and over and over again. There were so many opportunities to go do fetal heartbeat monitoring and clinical ultrasounds and DNA test decidual casts or whatever these things were, get a pathologist, and they did nothing. So to me, that was the big thing there. I actually liked his reading of the start of the motion, or the part of the motion that he read. I think, he did a good job of saying, hey, I did a filing. Let me walk through it and explain it in a little bit more layman's terms. I think he did a really good job of that, actually. Let's see. So he gets to here's one new thing. This was kind of new. He says he has a different theory of all the details around why the judge put the Planned Parenthood being closed in Sunday in the final ruling. So he says he has a new theory on that. Maybe he'll do a video where he explains that. That would be good, I guess.
I'm gonna give that one a miss, dude. But you can give me the highlights.
Yeah, and then, well, no, he hasn't said what the theory is, but I mean,
I don't want to know. I don't care.
But basically, he wrapped up that his appeal is based on 5 issues: the Rule 26 safe harbor issue, the Planned Parenthood being closed on Sunday thing. There's an ARS 25 statute, and he wants to know if the sanctions were reasonable with that. There's an issue. He wants to know if the timing of when all the filings were happening and the fee accrual, with the majority of the fees being after, like, she wanted to dismiss, if that's okay. And then number 5, he said he just wants Laura to have her fees and costs paid. Because he wants a dismissal via appeal where nobody gets anything unless they decide on this issue 5 that Laura should have her fees and costs paid.
Well, don't worry. I mean, I guess I'll be the one to pay the fees and costs because he's going to sue me for $150,000 exactly.
I mean, you can try. You can give it a go.
I took away his revenue source of $0 fucking dollars.
Yeah. He says Judge Mata treated the case like a joke, and the appeal committee of judges will figuratively crucify Judge Mata. Not literally, but figuratively. I would hope so. Let's see. He said he has had some pleasant conversations with some people in the public about the case. He, for example, mentioned somebody who doesn't believe Laura still, but also thinks Judge Mata did some improper things. So he used that as an example. Laura, let's see. So she doesn't like all the name calling and the people's strong statements about her not being pregnant. And to some extent, this is why I'm always saying, like, they have not provided evidence to make me believe their claims. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm not the judge or jury. So I don't feel like it's my place to pass judgment. If you ask me my opinion, I'll give it to you. But in general, that's why I almost always say they have just failed to provide evidence to make me believe the claims. Because the time to believe a claim is when there's sufficient evidence to believe the claim. And sufficient is subjective. Let's see. Yeah. So again, Gingras says he doesn't have a problem with people covering the case or people that don't believe Laura or people that support Clayton. He said he's going to do a video in the future on why he believes Laura. I thought that was very good too.
Well, because he's on crack. I mean,
Now-
you don't need a video about that. You're not supposed to do that on YouTube, man. You're not supposed to wave your gun either. But
Yeah.
I guess here we are.
Yeah, that was scary. The interesting thing I thought about that was he says the trial was a joke, and that's, I guess, why he couldn't explain why he believes her. But he's had blogs and Twitter for a long time between June 10th and now. And so I feel like if he really believed her, he would have explained it. Like, why is it taking so long to explain it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then he says people like Dave Neal tell you things that are false. And here's the problem I have. He makes these claims, right? Like Dave Neal told you something that was false, but he doesn't back it up with any evidence. So he doesn't say, here's a video URL with a timestamp and a sentence of what Dave Neal said, and here's the proof that it's false. Because Gingras, when you make claims like that, you need to back it up with evidence. You can't just make unsubstantiated claims, because claims made without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. So it's just disappointing to me whenever he says one of these abstract claims and doesn't back it up with anything. Like, oh, I'm just too busy to get into the details. Like, no. Either don't make the claim or make the claim and back it up. Like,
do we really have to go through all that detail nonsense, Bruce?
I'm super happy to go get a video URL and look at a timestamp and figure out if something Dave said is wrong or not. The other problem is, and he made this sort of fake quote. Like, he's like, oh, Dave Neal says HCG tests don't count for anything. They aren't real, blah, blah, blah. He said something like this. And again, it goes back to what I just said. Nobody is saying that they don't count. Nobody says they're not real. There was one instance where an HCG number was faked or whatever that was admitted in court. But let's say all of her other HCG tests were totally legit. HCG tests are a legit indicator, but they are not proof. The problem is that he is scientifically conflating proof and indication. And those two things are not the same. And when you conflate them, it is anti-science. And I'm a big science guy. And I do not like anti-science.
Oh, well, I guess they only believe in Jesus.
Well, I mean,
I'm kidding. Totally kidding.
Believe in whatever you want, but
or the Messiah, depending on who's asking.
No one asked. Literally, no one asked. I don't know.
Schnitzel,
I
did
just
you
wanted
watch this video?
Cockroach comment when she decided she was actually Jewish.
Yeah, dude. Okay. I just want to point out that was very smart and articulate, Bruce. And I literally started this stream putting a microphone up to my asshole. So thank you.
My God.
What about you? Do you watch the whole video?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just finished it.
Yeah, I couldn't get through the last few minutes. I did
2 times 2 speed Just
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I sped
Times
it up. I
two.
just still thought it was insufferable.
I did 1.5. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna
Shoot,
grab my phone.
I usually do 1.5 for 1.75, but this one I did. I did
We're in a hurry,
faster.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so. Also, it's his opinion. It's Dave Neal's opinion, right? I mean, he's not claiming.
Well,
to
I mean,
be-
we don't know because he doesn't give a URL with a timestamp, so I can't go evaluate independently. Like science is all about independently verifying a claim. So if he just sits there and claims Dave Neal tells you things that are false, I can't independently verify it unless he gives me the way to do it. Like I need a timestamp, I need a video link, and I need the reason why it's false, and I need the proof that it's false.
Yeah.
Which would be fine. And then we can go evaluate. Do we think Dave Neal lied on purpose? Do we think Dave Neal made a mistake? Did he misspeak?
Or malicious intent?
You know, did we have an opinion, or is it just like you said? Is it just an opinion? Because there's a lot of times. What's my dog doing? There's
that?
He's got the ball. There's a lot of times where, like in, I don't know if it was, I think it was the first video Gingras did, where he's like, there's no chance in hell I'll lose this appeal. And then at the end of the video, he says, well, we might win, we might lose. Like, sir, if you're going to state an opinion, you need to preface it as an opinion. Like, I think there's no way in hell we're going to lose. Not there is no way in hell we're going to lose. Because one is an opinion and one is a statement of information or fact. And when you are having these discussions on YouTube or in Twitter or wherever, a blog, or in your court filings, you need to be super specific. Are you making an opinion statement or a statement of fact? And he's just playing very loose with this in these videos, which he needs to do better.
On a lot of things, in my opinion.
Omar, I'm gonna email you a link to this stream. Hang on.
Oh boy.
And I have a drive link with the video if Omar needs or wants.
Somebody just sent me a transcript too, so you don't have to watch it.
Perfect.
Oh, a text transcript.
It's funny because like when I told people to watch David's video on his own channel, David filed a copyright strike against me, and now he's probably going to get his panties in a bunch because I'm saying don't bother.
So yeah, I mean, I kind of left off, and then I think he asked Laura how she, because I guess the audience question was, how are you feeling? Right? Did you get to that part?
Yeah.
Because she says she's not okay. She feels self-conscious, and if anything, like if she's on video or whatever, everything's going to be made into a meme. And I can actually understand that. I think the main thing is, they keep referring to everything as a cult. And again, I watched David's video where he said, look, if you're following the court case, you're not in a cult. If you support Clayton, you're not in a cult. If you think Laura lied, you're not in a cult. You're in a cult when you make a flyer and send it to Laura's gym or, something like that, right? Which I classify as sort of cancel culture behavior. And I would say the people that do that, I would call them trolls. I would not call them a cult. Because a cult has a very specific definition and it has a very specific meaning that people will interpret when they hear it. And they really need to use the correct terminology. So yeah, if somebody made a flyer and sent it to a gym, call them a troll. Go figure out who the troll is.
Does she have pictures of that flyer being at gyms? How do we know they were actually sent to the gyms, or is she just saying that? Or did they see the flyer, or did they what?
I mean, yeah, we don't know.
Or did they see the flyer on like online on an account or something?
Yeah. I mean, we don't know anything about that, but I'm just saying I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and let's just, for a thought experiment, assume it's true. Okay,
well, then
that somebody made a flyer and sent it to a gym.
What if it wasn't just like a JFC troll? What if that was done by someone who has been affected by her personally? Would that change your opinion?
Like, it would still be trolling or cancel culture sort of behavior. I could probably understand maybe why someone would do it. I don't know if I would say I think it's right to do that. But I could maybe understand it for sure. My point is that when they continuously say there's this cult out here, that is very damaging terminology. And they need to use the correct terminology, which would be like a troll or a troublemaker or something like that. Because calling an internet troll a cult is like calling a toaster an ice cream maker. You can do it, but you are never going to substantively get any ice cream out of that toaster. It's just wrong. It's just functionally wrong. And they need to stop doing that. Because
Omar, I sent you an email. Yeah. You check it.
To anybody that's actually survived a cult or has family members who are in a cult or something, it's just horribly disparaging the way they use this language incorrectly.
Yeah. Yeah, and they don't care. I mean, we could all come after that. We could all sue him for defamation.
Well, I'm
kidding.
Well, somebody could, but
Dave definitely could.
Oh yeah.
No. The other interesting thing I thought was that Gingras said at the beginning of the case he was sort of hesitant about Laura. Like he was he didn't want to be alone with her in a room or something like that. But now that they've had like hundreds of hours of phone calls and all this other stuff and gone through all this, now he says he just thinks, she's misunderstood, I guess.
Yeah, and that she's a little bit different.
Yeah, he mentioned the autism, which again, guys, if you're going to make a claim, bring the evidence for your claim. Show the medical provider who did an autism diagnosis or autism spectrum disorder diagnosis.
Especially to this group of people. Like, why, if you are trying to convince this group of people who are finding evidence for everything that you're talking about or the lack thereof of, show the paperwork. Of course, we're going to probably think, initially that it's like photoshopped or Adobe, right? But show some evidence. I
don't know. I mean, at this point, there must be some way to get verifiable evidence. I'm not sure, but some methodology could be used to get verifiable evidence, I suppose. So I don't know. And then he says he feels bad that they didn't have a better PR, that she didn't have better PR from the beginning. And then he goes back to this because there's people spewing vile lies, half-truths, and BS. And again, it's like, dude, who, what, where, when? Like, give me a link, give me a timestamp, give me a screenshot. If somebody spewed a vile lie, show it and refute it. If somebody said a half-truth, show it. Let me verify it. Otherwise, I can't do anything with your statements.
Hey, Omar.
What's up, Lauren?
Omar.
How's it going?
Oh, hi.
What's up, everybody?
Why am I the only one on camera here? This is making me nervous.
I turned mine off because I had to go get my phone. I didn't want to show my butt again.
There's all kinds of shenanigans going on in my house. I can't go on camera right now.
Oh, boy.
We were doing Christmas decorations earlier.
Oh, nice.
You had to get it done early because I'm not going to have a chance for the next 2 weeks. And so.
Oh, man. I was going to say this pretty early in my.
Yeah. But. Well, we're ready. The only house on the block that's all done up for Christmas, but just don't got a tree. So anyway, what I missed?
We're just going through this last video.
A whole lot of bullshit.
A whole lot of bullshit. David texted me after my live on Friday.
He mentioned he did in his last video, yeah.
What did he say? Did he send you a kissy face? Or
I didn't see that he even texted me until I was leaving the office, and I'd been off the air for like a couple of hours at that point. But I just texted him back saying, I didn't even see that you sent me this. He wanted to go on the live that I was doing.
Fuck you.
Sorry.
I shouldn't speak for
which
you.
one, Plaid? Or the one
Plaid.
I'm so sure, Plaid.
I think he would have some hot takes in Plaid.
Yes, he would.
I'd be kind of curious about what he'd be like on Plaid.
Like, I want to know what he would do in the salsa club if someone started grinding on his wife.
Dude, I
don't know.
That would actually be amazing.
Right? I mean,
like I said about my husband, I would be like, hey, have at it. See if you can get it. Good luck.
polish somebody's belt buckle. Somebody said that in the comments. It's like, Jesus. I don't know, man. And I just told him, hey, I'm like 0.15 right now. I'll talk to you guys next week. I was about to watch the Tyson fight.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not talking to you right now. I can't. Yeah. We had a lot of
internet
fun.
Connections were okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what his opinions were of my breakdown of his appeal. I heard him double down on his lawsuit against Lauren that he hasn't filed yet or whatever.
He has to wait until I file the counter, and then he has to show proof to YouTube that he's taking legal action against me, or he has to let it go. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to let it go. So,
well, I guess he's going to try to die on that hill. Whatever. I'm curious.
Well, I hope he does too. I hope he does die on that hill. Honestly, so
I don't know if he saw me break down his appellate reasons, which is kind of incomplete because I don't know what legal cases he's even going to cite. I just know what he said in his video because I had the transcripts and I was running through that. And
from tonight,
there's some very simple refutations.
You read through the first 15 pages or whatever it was.
Oh well, I'm gonna. Well, definitely not tonight, but I'll maybe check that out tomorrow.
Or I don't even know if it was 15 pages, but he definitely enumerated the 5 issues that he's raising for his appeal. So he listed those.
Which is what Judge Mata's biased.
Okay. So, well, number 1 is the Rule 26 safe harbor issue.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the Planned Parenthood on Sunday Judge Mata thing. Number 3 was some Arizona statute 25 about reasonable sanction awards. Number 4 was the timing of the fee structure for the award. Like, did the lawyers come on too late to give the fees for that? And then
so that's new.
Yeah. Well, I think he's always talked about that. Like, hey, we tried to dismiss this case, and that's when Clayton brought Woodnick on. So why are we paying fees after we wanted to leave? That's his argument, right?
Well, he's the one that decided to take on the case. And if the judge was going to let it go on anyway, and there was new attorneys racking up new fees, and those are reasonable fees through every measure that I've ever been involved with.
I understand the counter arguments and the arguments. I'm just saying he listed the 5 things, and that was number 4. And then number 5 wasn't really an issue. It was more like, hey, if you dismiss this, I think Laura should have all her fees and costs paid too. So, like, turn it around. He's like, flip it around.
Yeah.
So he's making his play calls.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I broke down his case. I don't know if he cited the 3 cases that I cited for him when I was going over his appeal that specifically says that a judge 100% could do what happened. And I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested to see how he's going to argue that because it's just 2 different worlds. I'm not going to nerd up Lauren's stream anyway.
Yeah, he said something like he said something like, I'm not going to read the whole thing because I will bore 99% of you, and the other 1% that wants me to do that are on drugs or something. And I'm like,
it is very the appeal itself is very legally dense. It's not. It's very unlike.
I mean,
other,
I was open to like being impartial and like trying to give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit, not be so critical. And he's going to sue me, so like. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I still don't get. Yeah, well, like I just don't get like why Lauren.
Let's see how the YouTube appeal process goes because maybe he'll change his mind.
Why me, Omar? Because he said not to do something and I did it, and he thinks he's my daddy now. And I told him I think I'm a little too old for you, but here we are.
So. But at the time that you did that, I think he had just published it, and wasn't that like in the middle of your stream that he gave that warning?
Well, he said not to do it. He said not to do it, and then I was like, "That's not, fair use is fair use."
He said, "Don't show any of it." He said, "Don't show any of it." And then later,
not how the world works.
Yeah. So for this video 2, he said, "Don't show any of it." But then for videos 3 and 4, he said, "Well, you can take like a few minutes of clips, but just don't show the whole thing."
It's not your call, bro.
There's a lot of gray area between a few minutes and the whole thing. Like, where are we landing here?
So he named these cases. He said, Barassi versus Madison.
Okay.
Maldonado versus Ashton Co. Those are the two
I'm pretty sure that I also cited the Ashton case as one of my 3, standing for the opposite of what he thinks it stands for. But I'd have to check the site. I
What does
don't remember.
WL stand for? Capital WL.
Westlaw?
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
That's what it says. Yeah. 2024
Yeah.
Westlaw and then a number.
Yeah, it is funny. He said
Westlaw.
99% don't care, 1% you're on drugs. But there's people like Omar, MG Law, Legal Vices. They will want to read the whole thing. I mean,
excuse me, why do I have to, not care or be on drugs? Why can't I be both?
I mean,
he's the dumbass reading the 75-page appellate brief.
Yeah, I mean, we can use inclusive or. We don't have to use exclusive or. We can use inclusive or.
But he is kind of right. It's like I hate reading legal briefs. I do it for a living, but I have like this weird curiosity about like his thought process. Like what? Okay, there's got to be a reason why he is like so hell bent on pushing this forward. What is he really going to argue here? Because I just don't see a way to argue what he's arguing, but he thinks he has one. So I was like, well, let's see how he does this. And so I have like this weird morbid curiosity just strictly off of that, just strictly intellectual curiosity. That's all. I think he's wrong. And I think I went over an hour and a half talking about how he's wrong on Friday. And then we got like super lit on Flag and had a whole, I don't know. That was a crazy show. I had a lot of fun.
Full moon Flag.
Yeah. Schnitzel called me a little bitch.
No, not you.
I was like pretending to be like this guy because this guy in the hypothetical was like literally being a little bitch. And he's like, well, I'm sick and tired of you trauma dumping on me. And I was like playing his role. And then Schnitzel's like, stop being a little bitch.
You was like, what would you say to him? What would you say to him if that were your partner? And it's all about the way you present. It's all about how you communicate. That was my point.
Which is great because in that guy's case, maybe he could just like relax a little bit and like not just full on trauma dump on. I'm doing flat on Lauren's show. Never mind. Whatever we're gonna do.
It's all you
crossover.
Yeah, well sober, which is no fun.
I'm drinking a beer.
Oh, well, that hardly.
It's like 1 p.m. here, so I probably shouldn't have any more.
Yeah, Lauren's in Australia. What are the bugs like over there?
Oh,
yeah. I don't know. I haven't really seen any. I saw some moths. Does that make you excited?
Spiders?
There aren't any giant human-killing spiders trying to crawl into your room? Isn't that what Australia is all about?
This is some nice, rich-ass place.
You're
not in the outback.
Yeah, you need to go to the outback.
I will if they'll let me stay.
Now, does Australia have outback steakhouses, or is that too on the
I'm going to say no, but I'm not positive.
Hey, so on this new video, how did Laura come off? I heard you guys talking about it before as I was waiting to come on.
She wasn't
had to mute
very
it.
much.
She didn't talk very much. I think she was sort of like, okay, she kept saying, okay, yeah, you've explained this part well, because before that I didn't really understand this part of it or whatever. And she basically answered like a question about like how is she doing? She says she's not really that okay. She feels self-conscious when she's, doing anything PR related in this case. She feels like everyone's going to turn it into a meme. The people that do that are, sad people. She wouldn't mind coming on another one of his videos. Maybe
like
they can go look at her horses.
I think we should do another one, is what she said. I think we should do another episode. But because
I think she wants to get into some of these things where she can keep hammering on the idea that like, hey, I had HCG positive tests, and because of that, I didn't just ignore them. I went and got the HCG blood test, and I'm sitting there like,
she brought up Mike and Greg, and she was trying to get into some of that stuff, and Gingras was like, no, stop. Like, we'll talk about that another time. We'll get to that.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
That's kind of why you don't do these kinds of videos with pending litigation.
They think people get way too angry when they start talking about her having autism or her having gone through DV. And I think the point is people get angry because you haven't provided sufficient evidence of your claims. That's the problem.
Even if the court in California said she did, I think I could speak for at least the majority of us, do not believe her. And we do not believe those things happened.
Well, I can tell you this. In California, if you bring a DV claim, they will grant a temporary one on the basis of what one person says without hearing from the other side. They'll just grant it, just out of an abundance of caution.
Because you want to keep people safe. Because if somebody ends up dead, then a judge is going to look really bad.
Yeah.
And then I think what happened, I forget if it was Greg's case or Mike's case, but in one of the cases, like in the process of that, like they just agreed to a restraining order because it was like, I really don't have a desire to have any contact. I'll agree to it. I don't care. But then she goes to like renew it, and then they litigated that, and that's like a very low bar to get. You don't even have to prove like there was a prior violation. They're not arguing the legitimacy of the prior claims. They're just saying, okay, why do you want the restraining order? And if all you do is say, because I'm reasonably fearful that he's still going to do things, then the judge will just grant it. Yeah. Which is what happened, I think, to Mike.
Yes. Yeah. And she tried to say, oh, well, he went to this gym that was near my house and he wasn't supposed to be that close to me. And she sent a picture of his social media on which she was blocked. So she obviously had no, it wasn't a friend. All right. Yeah. It was an alt account that she was somehow following him with. Yeah. And he said, but he wasn't prepared for that. Right. So he said, no, that's not the gym I went to. If you look at the road, the driveway, the parking lot, that's not that gym. I was at this other gym. And they're like, well, do you have, logs? Right. Well, no, but there was no investigation done into which location it was. They just believed her. And yeah, she's like, oh, I still live in fear. Okay. It's renewed for 5 years.
That's basically what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah. They just renewed it because she was fearful, and they believed that she was fearful. The merits of her arguments really didn't matter in a renewal hearing.
Hey guys, give me 1 second. I have to catch up on these. Hang on. K-Dubs, thank you for the membership. I appreciate it. Lost Cake, $5, and appreciate it for talking out of your ass. Thank you. I'm glad you like that. Okay.
I'm traumatized now.
Did you see Winks? Sorry, no, she did.
Oh, I saw that, Lauren. I thought you were about to do something else. Like, what is Lauren doing?
No, dude.
Please don't do what you're about to do.
I already did that. Lauren, your comment is about being too old. Can you confirm that unlike someone else, you've ever been arrested for sexual contact with a minor? Well, I don't think I have to answer that question. I think you know the answer. All right. Justice for Clayton, thank you for the $10. Happy birthday, friend. Thank you. I appreciate that. Natalie, thank you for the 5. David doesn't operate in good faith. He's an insecure, immature, and illogical lawyer. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. Thank you, Natalie. Mispronounced name, thank you for the 5. You realistic, Bruce. You can't expect such high-level thinking from someone who isn't a lawyer. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Cat Lady Ballerina, my dad was involved with logistics of flying back the folks from Jonestown to Dover. AFB, cults are dangerous. Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Thank you for sharing.
The wrong word. It's not the right word.
Yeah.
Angie, thank you for the 2. LO hearings, timestamp 3506. Who's the daddy? What? What?
I don't know.
Barrett, thank you for the 10. So I watched this entire video and it was unbelievably unhinged. First, I hope you all post way more than his 5 minutes. Second, haven't we all been asking for anything from Laura for this entire time? I actually didn't watch the last 5 or 6 minutes. I was just kind of like, this is terrible. So
well, yeah, I don't know how much time you have or how much you want to get into the whole Alex Jones thing.
We will before I sign off, so maybe like 15 minutes or so. But hang on, I have a couple more here. Anastasia, thank you for the 23rd. He compared Dave to a personnel who tried to debunk murdered children. I'm seriously starting to think he has mental issues. Lauren, I fully support you and contribute to anything he tries to do. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Cat Lady Ballerina, thank you for the 2. I have taken some sort of gummy as usual. I was going to say that's not really news.
Hashtag approved.
Thank you. And then this is why I wanted to read this while Omar's with us. BS, thank you for the 5. I'd love to hear Omar's opinion of Mike's bar complaint. I don't know if you've seen it or not. So
I did not see. I got the text from you. I don't know who I got a text from. Somebody told me about Mike's bar complaint. I haven't read it yet, okay. But I plan to in the morning.
Do you want? Yeah. Oh, so you already got it?
I'm assuming somebody sent it to me.
I can send it.
I wouldn't assume that.
I know. I know. If one of you guys could send it to me, I'd be greatly appreciative.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's talk about the Alex Jones thing. Go ahead. I'm just trying to download.
Yeah. So again, and when he says like, okay, Dave Neal's spewing vile lies, and he doesn't enumerate what they are, which is my problem with it. But then he goes on and he says, well, Dave Neal is analogous to Alex Jones making up a story that the school shooting didn't happen. And I think the quote was, Alex Jones did to murdered children what Dave Neal is doing to you, Laura.
Yep.
And my problem with this is that in the school shooting, we have evidence that the school shooting happened. We have fucking corpses. In this case, do we have any babies? Do we have any baby corpses? Do we have clinical proof of miscarriage? No, no, and no. That is the fucking difference.
Agreed.
It's frustrating.
He says Dave should be neutral. And if you take a side, what if Clayton turns out to be wrong? Sir, people's positions and their opinions and their conclusions about things change when they get new evidence. The problem is you are not providing the evidence. You are simply saying over and over and over again, Dave is lying. But lying about what? When did he lie? In which video? What URL? What timestamp? When did he do it? What did he say? What is the proof that he lied? What is the correct information? These are the things you need to change people's mind in the court of public opinion, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at all the women in the chat. They're like so happy when Bruce is angry. Like, Bruce is so hot when he's pissed.
I was just going to say, man, it takes a lot to get Bruce upset, man.
I haven't even gotten to what really made me angry.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, stay tuned for that.
Don't stop.
Okay. Then he says he never threatened Dave Neal. He just said, be careful. Okay? Now look, if I'm hanging out with my friend Nick, okay, and I'm like, Nick, you're going to go bungee jumping? Be careful, dude. Those things can be dangerous, you know? That is completely different than a complete stranger sending you a giant email, okay, full of warnings and be careful from a lawyer that you don't even know. Like if you're at a bar and you look at a pretty girl and some giant guy walks up to you and he says, be careful, that is a threat. So I don't think, David Gingras, if he thinks that it's unfair for Megan Fox to say she doesn't think that you were scared enough on June 10th, if that's your argument, then you can't make the argument that me, Dave, or anybody else in the public found your email to Dave and your statements in your blog to him as threats, because we do. They fucking were threats. You went on your second video and held up a gun. That's a fucking threat. And you'll be like, oh, give me a fucking break. It's just, it's open carry in Arizona. We're on YouTube making videos trying to talk about facts of a case, and you held up a fucking gun.
Did he really do that?
Mm-hmm.
Then in today's video, he starts saying, you have a son now, you have to be more careful. This is a fucking threat. When you bring Dave Neal's wife or Dave Neal's child into the story, that is off the fucking rails. And you should be ashamed of yourself, and you should apologize for both of those things. And if you want to take punches at Dave, come knock me out first. Because we can talk about logic, we can talk about reason, we can talk about the rules of logic. We can talk about what is good evidence. Okay, I went to the school of Matt Dillahunty for debate. All right, buddy? You want to come for Dave Neal? Come through me first. Otherwise, keep Dave Neal's family out of your fucking mouth.
I mean, he did say also, I believe, what is your son gonna think when he looks up at you one day? Is he gonna see that you're a bad person or something?
Yeah, when he goes to school and all the kids ask, Daddy, did you do that? Did you do that to that girl?
What an asshole. I mean, there's really no
better name drop. Somebody's got to fill me in about this. He was holding a gun on his video. Did he do that like in a threatening?
No, he was saying like, oh, I had to hire private security. He said he was worried that he was going to get his head blown off when he showed up to court on June 10th. I will tell you, there was absolutely no reason for either of them. There was more reason to think that Laura was going to bomb the courthouse than any of them getting hurt. In my opinion. So he said he had to hire private security. And then he was like, I even got a gun. I even had to bring this gun to make sure I was protected. I couldn't take it into the courthouse, but I brought it with me. And he waved it around, showing it. I didn't think
holstered. He waved it around, showing it. He wasn't like, hey, I'm going to go shoot someone, right? But he was like, hey, I have this. And then when people on Twitter complained, he went on Twitter and said, oh, I don't just have this gun. I have this other gun and this thing. And anybody who tries to rob my house is going to end up like Swiss cheese. Like, come on, man. You're supposed to be a lawyer. We don't need a lawyer going to the courthouse with an arsenal.
I didn't even know what he said when he waved the gun. I don't even know what he said because I literally despite what he said, I did not play his whole video. I didn't even watch it. You didn't review it. I did watch it. And he is correct. He didn't sit there and hold up a gun and say, hey, I'm going to shoot someone.
And he wasn't trying to show it off, but it's like...
This is a guy who walks right up to the line and then says, look, I didn't put my toe over the line. This is the kind of guy he is.
Man, the kind of guy that'll tell a bad joke about your mom that'll be really offensive. And then when someone calls him out for it, it's like, oh, what, you can't take a joke? You ain't got no sense of humor? What's the big deal, man?
I guess.
I mean, that's the playbook. That is the playbook.
Yeah.
That is the, I don't want to say whose playbook it is. But it's not from the Matt Dillahunty School of Debate playbook, I'll tell you that.
Correct.
All right, guys. I gotta go because it's past 1 o'clock, so I got somewhere I gotta be. But I mean, I don't really think you can say it better than that. So Bruce, thank you for that.
I'm really proud of Bruce, man. I've never seen him get mad like that. He's always the calm guy.
I've seen that one at a time.
He's seen me go off the rails before, and he's
like, bad. I'm just,
passionate. And when it comes to women's rights and Dave Neal, Bruce is your guy.
Look, sometimes
Bruce has got your back, man.
Look, sometimes sometimes to make your point, you have to use inflection.
Yeah. All right.
Inflection and choice language.
Will appreciate that as well. Okay, guys.
You have to swear a little bit.
For being here. Let me read this last one I didn't get to. Give me 1 second. Oh, Cat Lady, thank you for the 2. I saw the pretend twins. They look like this, and there's 2 slices of Domino's pizza. How funny. Okay. Nothing like it. Thank you for the 5. David Gingras, do you remember Darren Shaker? Who's that?
Mysterious.
I don't know who that is. Tell us.
Investigation continues.
Anastasia Merritt, $2. Thank you. I love it when Bruce goes off. Yeah, see, everybody likes it.
Wow.
RJ, thank you for the 2. Dave gave Laura a chance, but she lied repeatedly. That's definitely true.
Yep.
Lost Cake, thank you for the 5. If she is autistic, she's missing the honesty and directness that most of us have. IMO, deception, and manipulation are a sign of something else. Yeah, for sure. Like a pretty serious personality disorder, in my opinion, but okay. Leanne Burkmeyer, thank you for the 10. Happy birthday, Lauren. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for that. I appreciate it. I'm going to sign off for the day here because I got stuff to do, and this guy's boring me a little bit, to be honest. Not you, Bruce. Not you.
Can I say 2 things?
Yeah, go ahead.
One is to encourage everyone to remind Rachel Mitchell that we are paying attention, that we are following it, to follow through. Whatever you want to say to her, just keep every day. If you are on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, tweet about it, tag her, remind, and it can be, you're doing a great job, can't wait to see this through, whatever, but just keep it on the radar. Don't let it slip through the cracks. Secondly, I think we should sing to Lauren. So we should sing.
Oh God.
Oh, all right.
Ready?
There's only 3 of you. Do you know how awkward this would be?
Ready?
Yeah.
Happy
birthday to
you.
Are we all out of sync?
birthday to
I will take the bass.
you.
Happy
birthday, dear
Lauren. Da, 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 da.
Happy birthday to you. All right.
That
All
was
right.
the
How many
most.
spanks is it? 33 spanks?
Ooh.
Well,
Oh,
after
boy.
hearing that, I feel like I've aged about 40 years. So
I
that was the most intimate and uncomfortable birthday song I've ever gotten. Thank you.
don't know who was more uncomfortable. This is me or Bruce.
All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here. Let's see you next time.
All right, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Word.